What's up, everybody? You know what day it is. Bronze through gold, all regions, below 5,000 dusts. Play the standard ladder and climb it without needing a payday loan. We're going to get right into it. First of all, we're going to go over the, win rates right now based on the last few days. Paladin, Warlock, Druid, and Shaman, and Death Knight. That's about it. Yes, there's outliers everywhere. We've talked about this. I feel like I'm blue in the face sometimes talking about some of this stuff. There is a lot of mage decks for a budget player that's good. Not as good as it was 2 weeks ago, but they are good. Same thing with Demon Hunter. There's maybe one, maybe two. Shopper's back. Did you know that? Hunter's getting a bad rap right now. There is a couple of things. There's Secret Hunter, but yeah. And then Priest, Warrior, and Rogue are all sitting at the bottom of the barrel, wondering when they're going to see some love. Maybe the mini set? I don't know. Let's talk about some classes. So what I wanted to do is this. There's some stagnation right now, okay? Every deck that I've talked about in the past 30 days is pretty prevalent right now, which is a good thing because that means you can still play, what have you. But there's some stuff that we're going to talk about that we already talked about. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just go through some of the classes from a budget perspective to see where they are using hsreplay.net's data. We're going to go to Death Knight. So Death Knight has a couple of options here. So the good news is you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to play Death Knight. You've got Unholy 50% with 0 dust needed. You have Handbuff, Death Rattle, Frost. All of these are below 4,000 dust, and they're quite high on the win rates. There's some variance here, obviously. A couple cards here and there moved around, but Unholy could get you a little bit. You're not going further than Bronze through Gold on this, but there is options for you if you love Death Knight. And who doesn't love Death Knight? Let's look at Plague really quick. Yeah, Plague is still there, very prevalent, but it's not for what we're talking about because it's too expensive. Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter's there, but you got to spend a little bit more. I mean, yes, you probably have a lot of these cards. Window Shoppers there. Zilliax. Who doesn't have Zilliax these days? They should pass it out as soon as you get your driver's license. Umpire's Grasp. That's another one. All of these cards should be, pretty much what you have already. But yeah, we're talking about decks below 5,000. Druid has options, okay? Dragon, Treant, Concierge. The three of them will get you going. Bronze through Gold, and they're below 5,000 dust, give or take a few shards of dust. Hunter's getting a little bit of a bad rap. Like I said, there's Secret Hunter, and that's about it. Anything else you need more than 5,000 dust to climb. Amalgam, it doesn't look too great. Listen, I love Amalgam Hunter, but look at the drop on the win rates. It's just, and you just see here it's from July 29th. It's just down. So I love Adaptive Amalgam, but it's just not going anywhere. Okay, let's go into Mage. Mage, I just talked about Elemental and Spell. They're still good. They're still cheap. They're still viable. You can climb with them. Okay, going any higher than Gold, it's kind of iffy, but you're looking to go Bronze through Gold. That's why I made these videos. Paladin's doing what it has been doing for months and months and months. You got Handbuff, you got Flood. Earthen, no, not really. Yeah, it's pretty much Handbuff or Flood right now, unless you have a lot more dust to spend or, above 5,000. But the good news is Handbuff is 720 with a 59.4%. That's pretty good. We're going to talk about that one in a little bit. In case you haven't watched any of the new older videos, Zarimi Priest, about it. Barely, no, not even. Heal Priest is at 2,800, but it's at a 45.7% win rate, so I wouldn't suggest jumping on to Priest right this moment unless you have a lot of dust. There's Elemental Rogue. There's Sonya Rogue just eking out at 5,000. Those are about the only three things. It's not really popular, but, it is good if you're a, rogue main. You're not going to lose every single game. But, I'm going to talk about Elemental Rogue briefly just because Shaman doesn't have anything below 5,000 dust. Doesn't have anything below 6,000 dust. And yeah, I mean, it's there, but it's just, we're not talking about that on a budget scope. Okay, Warlock. Cool thing about Warlock is the cards and the decks, it's all the same as it was before, a little bit of modifications or what have you. So if you like playing Warlock, you're pretty good. And there is some Warlock play higher than Bronze through Gold, so you should be able to eke out wins even past gold. But yeah, you got Insanity, you've got Sludge, you've got, yeah, Insanity, Insanity, Insanity. And look at this. Look at this. That's just all Insanity. It's Insanity. Also Pain Warlock's there, but who wants to talk about Pain Warlock? It's painful. Next up, Warrior. Warrior, yeah, you got Odin at, 54.6%, but truthfully, it's just Odin. There's a virus control that's 11,000. We're not talking about that deck. There's also Highlander at 12,900. We're not talking about this one. Listen, Highlander Warrior is one of my favorite decks right now. I love playing it, even though I'm not winning a lot of games. I just like the deck. But yeah, there's nothing here for a budget player except for Odin, and I don't think Odin is as strong as some of the other, decks, cards, whatever you want to call it, archetypes. That's all there is. So to make sure we're all on the same page, I just wanted to show some consistencies here. Yes, we've talked about this deck before. I'm not going to go too much. We're talking about Handbuff Paladin. Handbuff Paladin is at 720 dust, and it's at a 59.1% win rate. And I just wanted to show you the trend lines. The popularity is just still there. Keeps on going. This is about a month and a half worth of data. It's just... there's something there. And then look at the win rate. That's even better. Above 50%, almost all except for July 2nd. So maybe everybody was playing with fireworks and stuff like that. It's just continuously good, and it's also continuously cheap. Air Guitarist is, you want the weapon to have durability. We know what the weapon's going to do. This deck is about buffing your hand and then playing your opponent's cards with him, and then just fighting. Scarab Keychain, discover a 2-cost card, South Sea Deckhand. So just the low-cost cards that are small, but the idea is Outfit Tailor is going to make them stronger because you're going to use Painter's Virtue to buff all the minions in your hand. So you definitely want that Air Guitarist to keep that Painter's Virtue. And the Snake is not around right now. Not a lot. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit more prevalent, Bronze to Gold, but when I climbed this month, I didn't see anything whatsoever. Tigress Plushie, Leroy Jenkins, Warsong Grunt, Nomelia, all of these cards, you know what they do. You want to buff them up as much as possible. Cool thing with this, there is so much that you can do with the variants here. You can throw cards here and there, in and out of here. As you grow this deck, as you grow and you're getting, dust, and you're getting, the gold to buy packs, just to show you, Handbuff, it's just all across the board. There's so much variance. You could put up to, I think it's like 9,800 or something like that. 10,280 dust, and this will take you pretty far. Just to give you an example right here, Diamond. Look, I mean, you can go all the way to Diamond, and this is also, it's around in Legend as well. So this deck will get you started, will get you climbing, will get you winning games, and then you could go ahead and start adding more tech to it. So it's versatile. It's amazing. Do I think that Paladin's a little bit overpowered right now? No, I don't think it's overpowered. I joked about it in the last video. By the way, every Wednesday I'm trying to do a like a meta report, and it's all across all ranks, all regions, what have you, just talking about the decks to make sure we're all under the same page of what's being played, what have you. But yeah, this deck can take you so far, just with 720 dust. Who doesn't have 720 dust? It's very easy to get 720 dust when you're playing. And look, next week we're gonna get that event that gives you like 14 packs. There's your 720 dust right there, and you might find some good stuff. Make sure you're getting all of those packs 100%. Let's talk about the next one. The next one is Handbuff Death Knight. It's a Handbuff Knight tonight. And the only reason I wanted to sit there and bring this to everybody's attention again, this one's at 1,360 dust with a 60.4% win rate. Is just the popularity is growing in the past few days, past week or so, and then also the win rate is just super consistent. Listen, there was some downtime. On June 29th, it was at 0%. Maybe that was an anomaly. I don't know. But yeah, the win rate's there. The popularity is there. You're in good shape playing this, and it's almost the same essential item as a Handbuff Paladin. You got a bunch of minions you're throwing in your hand, and you're just working on the one thing that's very important here is Amateur Puppeteer, to grow them, and yelling Yodeler to, you know, trigger the friendly minions death rattle twice, so amateur puppeteer twice, no munchers in there as well, get yourself a little bit of healing. Hollow Hound, you know, if you don't play this deck very often, Hollow Hound, you definitely want to try to even mulligan in because you want this to be huge. You can go to 30 health with just hitting us with a couple of hand buff situations here. So this is really easy to pilot. It's really the same thing too, with just a, you know, slight variance in 1360 dust compared to the Paladin deck. And yeah, it's the same thing. It's really the same thing. And then the last thing I want to talk about, like I said, is just Elemental Rogue. And it's really got a low popularity. This is at 3,400 dust. That's at a 57.9% win rate. It's there. It's above 50% win rates. And it's very easy to pilot, and you probably have a bunch of these cards now because they're either in core or what have you, so it's technically even cheaper than this. But recently, I looked at this on the 22nd, which was 2 days ago, and I was like, okay, 75% win rate, let's go. And then the popularity was eking out a little bit, and then it just plummeted in the past 24 hours, 48 hours with the time you're watching this. So be careful. This might not be very good. If you have a lot of these, I wouldn't craft any of these cards. Rogue is just in a wonky place right now. That's absolutely the only way you can put it. Rogue is in a wonky place, and I'm sure, you know, maybe we'll get some mini set love for Rogue as well. You know, Rogue does funny stuff. So yeah, it's preparations in there, shadow steps in there, breakdance, firefly. These are cards you know about already, and it's just elementals, using the synergy from the elementals, making sure you're playing an elemental each turn. Great thing is you have quick pick that helps you draw a card. You've got rolling stone, you've got shell spot. It's just, like I said, it's elementals. It's easy to pilot. This should be easy for you to play, but again, there's not going to be a lot that you're going to go anytime like right after gold, and this might be a terrible deck by the time you watch this video. So caveats, obviously. And then yeah, that's like I said, Amalgam Hunter. I'm sad about Amalgam Hunter. You could just totally see the trend line just go down, and then nothing there. That's really all I have this week. Listen, Mage is good if you have not a lot of dust. Paladin is amazing. There is something for everybody. Every class is represented a little bit, bronze through gold, so you'll be able to have some fun playing your favorite class. And maybe we're gonna get some new decks soon as well. I also do this too. I also look every time before I have these videos. I look through to see if there's any awesome things that are coming up on trending, and it's almost the same. We're in a situation here. It's either too much dust, it's way too expensive, or it's something we've already talked about before. Now, Secret Hunter's trending a little bit, so if you loved Secret Hunter and you have the core deck, look through HS Replay. If you guys are not buying premium for this, yes, I go through this with you guys several times a week, and I love doing it, but the only reason I'm able to do it is because of hsreplay.net. So give them some love, give them some of your money, and if I can get a like, if you guys can subscribe, if you guys can come over and say hi in the comments, I would appreciate it. And until then, I will see you in the next video.